Hello there. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this news drop. So I'm a little late to the party. It is the 11th of May when I am recording this, and the update to Secrets of Grindea is a frontlight patch only, which means that it is an experimental patch for those that want to opt into it. But this is a pretty big update, kind of. So, bug fixes, quality of life improvements, and more difficulty options. The difficulty options are what I want to really talk about. So, I just want to kind of briefly go over this. The devs say that after watching and reading a lot of feedback, they've come to realize that the difficulty options in the game are a bit limited to players. There are two pretty big groups that are affected. Some people are looking for less demanding gameplay, and other peoples would like to face a greater challenge. But hard mode is too hard. The patch contains a couple of new difficulty settings to improve on this. So they are adding a chill mode, which is effectively an easy mode, but, you know, it's nicer to call it a chill mode. And expert mode, which will be slightly harder than the current hard mode. And then they're going to be toning down hard mode itself. So there are also changes to display options, as well as possibility to adjust controller dead zone. Those are all some nice quality of life improvements. Some translator credits, and the phase shift course challenge is no longer necessary to be completed to get to the true ending. But more information on the difficulty changes here. Chill mode is easy mode. We hope this mode will suit players who want to go on an adventure, but not be under a lot of pressure. Conversely, we've realized that the gap between normal and hard is quite big. And to take a break here, I do agree with this. The difference between normal and hard is quite big. And I have, outside of the first couple runs I ever did of this game back in the day when I bought it in, I don't know, 2014 or something, or 2015. Outside of my first couple of runs, I have always played on hard mode since. And I am very used to hard mode, and it is still very hard. There are certain bosses that I have to smash my face into to just beat. I have to kind of relearn things because I typically pick this game up maybe once a year, or every time there's a major update, and obviously the game is released now finally. But I will agree that normal and hard have a pretty big gap. So going back to this, especially considering the final boss's moves of disabling the health potion and barrier. Two tools that a lot of players feel forced into when playing the mode. For some, normal feels like a cakewalk, and hard is a punishment. Okay. Because when the game released, I actually started a new run. I have not actually gone back to my old save files and fought the final area and final boss, which came out in February. So I actually don't know what that feels like. I can't really give a strong comment on what it looks like as a boss, but disabling the health potion and the barrier itself, I rely on these completely. So I'm sure a lot of others do too, and that's kind of what they're saying. So to better serve this second crowd, they, the devs, will adjust the difficulty of hard mode. While health potion and barrier will always be allowed, and the mode will generally be slightly easier across the board. So it's becoming a medium mode. Kinda. And it will be equivalent to Catalyst 2 in arcade mode with some adjustments. Now, I'm really bad at arcade mode. I've played it with some friends that are really good, and I just kind of sit there watching them kind of do stuff. Arcade mode for me is extremely difficult, and I can't get very far. So I can't really say what Catalyst 2 feels like, but if it's going to be slightly easier than current hard difficulty, then I guess that's okay. The devs continue, we will at some time introduce a fourth difficulty, expert mode. This mode will be slightly harder than the current hard mode, mostly due to the health potion barrier being weaker from the beginning of the game. Overall, though, the experience will mostly be about the same as the current hard mode, and the hard mode achievement will be rebranded as Expert Mode Achievement, and if you've already unlocked it, you will keep that achievement under the new name. Okay, so there's some patch notes here about some like aspect ratios and some like quick slot stuff. Okay, this actually is really nice. This enemy is really annoying because they leave a trail of goo behind them that constantly poisons. Now they only do this when they're angry. That is, I think that's great. I really don't like that enemy because the poison, you can't really reduce poison damage. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's magic damage, but it just kind of constantly ticks. And it will break your barrier, it'll destroy your health. And if you're just walking through an area, this is just excessive. So I'm glad about this change. I mostly focused on the difficulty here in this video, but health orbs have a larger pickup radius. Agree on that. Players now healed in every battle in the final tower, except for on the hard and expert mode. Haven't fought the final tower, so no comment. Further, burn debuff when affecting a player now has a short mercy timer before being applied. Enemy shockwave attacks now have less punishing colliders. The player can move earlier after putting the shield away. Oh, that's kind of nice. It's a pretty big buff, but I'd have to feel it. I haven't felt it yet. I haven't gone in there and tested these out. Been busy, sorry. Can't give too much input, just kind of concept and criticism here. Player can now move earlier after taking shield damage. You can attack and use spells at any time during the shield animation. Input when turning and raising the shield is now somewhat context sensitive, making the timing less strict. Thornworms can now be interrupted during the beginning of their dig animation. Oh, that's nice. After completing a Twilight lock challenge in the ghost ship, the player now automatically leaves Twilight. Monkey Barrel in the room in Timing's inner shrine will now become an efficient monkey plus statue grind room after saving Shiidu. Okay, yeah, that's good. Having another room to kind of farm. Monkeys can now spawn as elites, mostly for drop rate increase purposes. Also, great changes. And then the rest of it looks like it's just bug fixes. Okay, and it'll go to the other versions in 1 to 2 weeks. And then they're making a new game plus. Okay, so thoughts on this. The difficulty changes here. I think what they're doing is okay. I am of the opinion that I'm not against difficulty settings. I am generally kind of surrounded by a lot of people that really love like Elden Ring and Dark Souls. And I think that those games do difficulty really well. This game isn't those. And I think it's okay to have difficulty settings. Do we need 4 of them? I don't know about that. And do we need 4 of them and a new game plus? I'm going to personally say no. I can't justify having new game plus and 4 difficulty levels. Is that really, really necessary? So what I would say is pick one. Do 4 difficulty levels or do new game plus. But I really would not say do both. And I'm an old school Diablo player, where you play normal difficulty and then nightmare difficulty and then hell difficulty on the same character, and you just keep going and things get harder and things drop better loot and all this other stuff. But as I've gotten older and as games have gotten better, I am personally less and less interested in New Game Plus. And I wasn't like a diehard for it in like Dark Souls or in Salt and Sanctuary or in various, Dead Space and Final Fantasy, whatever game Final Fantasy had a New Game Plus for. It's been a while. I don't remember which one that was. And I think New Game Plus can be really interesting. But does it need to be New Game Plus and there needs to be 4 difficulties? I don't know. But that's all I really have to say is just that I don't think that that's necessary. But I do think how they're handling the 4 difficulty levels in and of itself sounds clean. It sounds like it's a well decided goal and decision there. But you know, say what you have to say too. You know, leave a comment. Tell me your opinion on having so many difficulty settings specifically to this game. You know, I think different games have different needs. Like, for real. Like, that's a big deal. I don't think Dark Souls needs multiple difficulty settings because the design of Dark Souls is different. But in a game like Secrets of Grindea, this changes a lot of things very differently than some other games where it might just be a little bit of extra health. In Grindea, it changes boss battles. They become bullet hells. They become, you know, more enemies in different rooms. So it's not just more health, more damage. It's more enemies or specifically tailored boss challenges. So, but yeah, leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm right. Tell me what you think about this change. And have a great day. See you in the next video.